But I'd like to drill down a bit more into the synthetic biology here. What does this look like in a day-to-day, week-to-week world for Dr. Tiffany Vora? Do you have particular microorganisms you like, particular techniques you like? It's still only it's only recently been legalized to the scale that we can CRISPR a lot of stuff here in the UK in the last 2 years. So it is new. What does your work look like, and what's the scale of it?
So it's complicated for a variety of reasons. I would say we're still scale-wise looking at individual pieces. I'm particularly interested in labs and companies that are taking more of a platform approach rather than engineering everything as a one-off, which is how we used to do things, right? So, for example, other daily examples of life, insulin doesn't come from ground up human bodies. Insulin comes from bacteria, right? That was the sort of the classic Genentech thing way back in the day. Like that's where the original stuff came from. So we're still seeing quite a bit of that. I'm also excited by companies that are doing things like using microbes to take CO2 that is off gas from a concrete factory, for example, a cement factory. They literally bolt their laboratory onto the side of the manufacturing plant, and then those microbes convert that CO2 into protein or into monomers that you could use to make things like yoga pants or fats or oils or things like that. And that's really interesting to me because one of the things biology is really good at is taking a waste of one process and using it as the input to another process. And again, if we're talking about space, we are talking about closed loop systems, right? You can't just off gas your CO2. If there's one thing Mars has a lot of, it's carbon dioxide. So we're going to want to know how to use that. But so getting those loops in place here on Earth is also really going to benefit us. So for me, what it looks like day to day, I am not in the laboratory myself today. My work has taken me in a slightly different direction. But what I do is I go around the world and I spend a lot of time on Zoom talking to these innovators and these founders who are working on these problems.